Hey there guys, so this is my tutorial for Module 6, Activity 1, titled Transitions Overview, which can be found in the Premiere Pro ebook. I do apologize for the audio, as I don't have a mic for this, so the sound quality isn't that state of the art. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of the layout for Premiere Pro. Although you should be familiar with it if you have done the activities before this one that I'm about to show you. So when you open Premiere Pro, this is basically the layout that you get. All of the stuff in here though is from the activity that you will be doing. It is usually blank, so then you can import your own images and videos and everything like that. So over here, this is the source monitor, and this is for editing separate parts of the sequence. So if you double click on one of these, it will show up in here, and then you've got the effects, controls, and everything like that. You can change the speed, the color, all sorts of things. Then you've got the project panel over here, and this is where the majority of your assets are situated. So yeah, so all the videos and the clips that you need will be in this little box over here. You can create separate bins to like really organize it so that you don't get confused and everything. And over here, this is the sequence panel, and then the sequence panel is basically the sequence that you will be working with. So when you click on something and you drag it over here, this is what happens, and then you can basically watch your video and all of that just by pressing the space bar. So over here is the timeline, and then the timeline is basically just showing you what your sequence looks like. So it puts all the videos there so you can actually watch it and see if the effects and the changes that you made are to standard and what you want. So to start off the activity, you need to open your file. So you can find that in your File Explorer over here. So yeah, mine's quite organized, as you guys can see. OCD comes in handy with that. Yeah, so then you just go to Module 6, Lessons, and then you click on the overview that's got nothing next to it, because that's the activity for the beginners. And then it opens up like this. So, okay, to get started, click on the Effects tab at the top over here of the screen. So you guys can just follow my mouse on the screen, because that's what I'll be showing you all of the different parts with. So here's the Effects tab, and then you get this little column that pops out of the side, and then you go to Video Transitions, and you just click on that little arrow, or if you don't want to click on the arrow, you can just double click on it and it will open it automatically. So then find the Dissolve folder, and then we're going to choose the Cross Dissolve Transition. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on it, and you're going to drag it to the actual sequence until you see this little center cut icon over there, which will appear between the two clips. And what that basically does is it just shows you where the actual transition is going to be placed. So once you see the little center cut icon, you can release your mouse, and then if this shows up, just ignore it. It doesn't make any hectic changes. So then now you can see, if you place your mouse over it, that's where the cross dissolve transition has been placed. Okay, and then just to see what it looks like, you just move the playhead a little bit before the transition, and you press the space bar just to watch it. And then you see the effects of the transition. So, just a quick note, if this bar at the top here where the yellow is red, it means that you have not rendered your timeline, and therefore when you do try and export it or turn it into a video, it takes a little bit longer. So you must always try and render it as you're going along, because it basically just saves what you've done. And then also, if you render it throughout your actual activity, there's a lot less chance of anything going wrong when you try to export it. So to render it, you just press the enter button on your keyboard. Now, A lot of you, well, I know that I started pressing the enter button where the numbers are. That's not always the safest option. You must press the enter button where the actual letters are on your keyboard, because sometimes the numbers, it does something else, and it's not very, sometimes it doesn't work the way that you want it to. Okay, so then now to adjust the duration of the cross dissolve transition. So you're going to put your mouse back on here, and you're just going to wait until that little box comes up to tell you what's there. And you're going to double click on it, and then automatically a transition duration box will pop up like the one you see there. And for this, what we can do is now you can set any duration of how long you want the transition to actually last. So if you wanted it to last for a minute, you can put a minute in there, but for now we're just going to take away the 6 and add a 0 so that it changes to 1 second. Okay. Now, there is an alternative way to doing this. You can actually use these little arrows and move it yourself and do it all manually, but I prefer to put in the actual figures because it's just a lot more accurate and there's less chance of you messing up and possibly moving the entire video over as opposed to just the transition. Okay, so another little note, the duration of the transition cannot extend beyond the length of either clip involved. So you cannot make the transition last longer than the actual video that you've got here. Because then what it's going to do is, if you move down here, it's just going to add another one over here. So it's just going to loop the video, and you don't want that. So you must always just be careful with that. Most transitions are generally like 1 second. It really does depend on what you're doing and what you're editing and everything like that. And now the next step is if you want to edit the transition. Now if you select the applied position between the clips, so you click on that, it will open it up over here in the source monitor, so you can see how long it is, and then you can also edit it as much as you want. So now what we're going to do is, it's already open, you're going to open the effects controls over here, which is in the source monitor, top left of the screen. You can make the changes you want to, change the duration, everything like that, and I think it will automatically just do it in the sequence. You can also see the small little preview box over here. So if you click on that, then it will show what's actually happening and what the transition is, and it just gives you an idea of how this transition will work in the thing over here. If you look at all of these little layers that they've got, it just shows you what's happening and how the transition is actually affecting the videos. And then the next step that they speak about is to replace a transition. Now what you can do is you can just click on another one, drag it, put it in there, and then it basically replaces it with the new one that you've clicked and dragged. So now this one is dissolved to white, and then you can see it do that. Just a quick little tip, when you replace a transition, the alignment and duration are preserved, but the settings of the existing transition are not replaced by the default settings for the new transition. So basically the only thing that changes is the way that the transition looks. Everything else is the same. See, still 1 second. So if you want to actually edit it properly, or you want to change it completely, then you've got to go in and edit that separately once you've added the new transition that you want to do. So I'm just going to reverse that so that the cross dissolve one comes back, and then we can literally just see when you just press play that that is what the transition looks like. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that it was very helpful. If you have any problems, please ask your lecturer or whoever's teaching your class, or maybe even a friend that can help you. But yeah, good luck with the rest of the textbook, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty great. They teach a lot of fun, cool things that really help you later on. So yeah, have fun with it.